We're live.
All right, let's check the sound.
Check the sound. Yep.
You good? Okay, come. All right. Shalom. We are the brothers of the Great Millstone here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakudash.
Double honors unto our apostles and elders. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity around the four corners of the earth. And to you few aqua that are listening and learning on the comment boards. And as the title says, it is true. Being an Israelite is like a golden ticket, man. You know, I remember that, someone mentioned Gene Wilder, and I thought about, what was that, Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory?
Yep.
Hey, the only way you was getting in that chocolate factory and enjoy the little paradise of candy there, all right, the little candy land that they went to, was if you had one of those golden tickets. Well, according to the scriptures, all right, the only way you're going to really enjoy the kingdom of heaven is if you are of the Israelite heritage, all right, and even more so of the elect, because there's different levels to it. Because all Israelites are going to enjoy the kingdom of heaven, but the elect are going to enjoy it on a higher level, man. And everything that I just said, we're going to back up with scripture, right? Because you got to understand what people like Vocab Malone, what he did was basically just help further the truth by being, that guy was too stupid to just STFU. All right, that's all he had to do. What he's done is he's made things worse for himself. And then in watching the video, he literally said, I despised them being the Israelites. That's basically what it is. It's just hatred, because the Lord chose us, man. As a matter of fact, can I get that Joel? Was that Joel 2:27, I believe? Real quick.
This is Joel chapter 2, verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am Yahweh, your power, and none else.
And none else, man. So, didn't it say in Malachi that the Lord changes not? Yeah. Did it not say, as a matter of fact, somebody get that. It said it in Hebrews too, in Hebrews 13 and 8. Mm-hmm. Grab those two, man. Yep. So when the Lord said he's in the midst of Israel and none else, what part of that, are you not understanding, man? Why are you not comprehending? Or is that a misinterpretation too? Because that's what he said. Romans 9 and 13 is. He said it was a misinterpretation.
So Paul messed up?
I guess so.
So Malachi messed up in first chapter too.
I guess so, according to him.
Because Paul said, as it is written.
Exactly.
Well, then I guess the Most High messed up because he said they were moved by the Holy Spirit. All right, it says God gave the word.
Right. God. So it just comes down to hatred, jealousy, and the fact that we are awakened and the world is aware of it. The whole world knows about the Hebrew Israelites now. It's a hot topic that won't go away, man.
Malachi,
whatever, bring it out, brothers.
This is Malachi 3 and 6. It says, for I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Didn't say the whole world's not consumed. Say the sons of Jacob, going back to that Joel 2. Your power, none else, man. So, hey, if I was a heathen, I would be jealous too.
Well, the smart heathen would just get on board and start kissing ass and doing right. If you heathens really were worried, you should be giving up your cars, your daughters, your money, your bank accounts. You should be trying to find Jake and try to make amends. Well, here's all the money that we raped, robbed, and stole and took from you. That I may have favor. When you guys get in control. And then what was that case of when the Israelites wanted to scout out that Hamite area where the whore was? What was her name? What was her name?
Rahab.
Rahab. What was her name?
Rahab.
Right. You know, for she asked for what? Matter of fact, somebody get that account. She asked for favor.
Yeah.
She said, the Lord, I know that your power is going to give this land unto your hand.
Oh, and I got a precept.
She was like, I know he's going to give it to you. So all I ask is that when you guys come to take it, could you spare me and my family? And they were like, hey, you know what? Instead of me just fumbling over it, let's get it.
John, here's Hebrews 13:8 that you said to back up that Malachi. This is Hebrews 13:8. Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, the same yesterday and today and forever. So he doesn't change. All right, so when he chose Israel, we read in Romans, it repeats the same thing. Paul was in front of Agrippa and made the same case. They said, which our brata. It says our fathers instantly serving, all right, the Most High. All right, and it said which promise our 12 tribes hope to come to, man.
So got that right. This is Joshua 2:1. And Joshua the son of Nun sent out Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into a harlot's house named Rahab and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there came men and hither. So I can go back one, I believe.
And you know, it's funny too, while you're reading that, it's funny too that she was actually a harlot, you know, and not to change the subject, but you know, a lot of you women that supposedly know that you're Israelites, you know, or you call yourself a Christian and all that, man, this harlots like her gonna have more mercy because they're more real with it.
Yeah,
they're gonna have more mercy than you women who you know, a lot of you women. I'm not gonna say all you women, because it's like Murph have the saying, he would never call a woman a bitch, he would never call a bitch a woman. There's a difference, all right? But a lot of you women better get yourselves together, man. That's all, you know. Let that be a warning to you. You need to get yourself together, all right, so that you can get mercy like this harlot did, man. But go ahead, brother. Slack.
Yeah, because it's true. She humbled down and she got to make clothes. The bitch can't even make clothes, man. Joshua 2:1. And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into a harlot's house named Rahab and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there came men and hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and thus there came men unto me, but I was not whence they were. So she lied, told them, I don't know, they came, but they left. I don't know where they at. And it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whether the men went out, whether the men went, I would not pursue after them quickly, or ye shall overtake them, shut them off. They left. I don't know where they went, but hurry up.
She sent the soldiers
out. Like, hurry up, go get them. Meanwhile, they on the damn rooftop. But she had brought them up to the roof of the house and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the men pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof, and she said unto the men, I know that Yahweh hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how Yahweh dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the 2 kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And as soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For Yahweh, your power, he is power in heaven above and the earth beneath. And the world is going to learn that again, man. That Yahweh is in control of all things. But he said Esau what? The Lord put us in this captivity. Like Isaiah the 10th chapter says, when we served our punishment, the Lord is going to come punish the stout heart of the king of Assyria. Talking about Edom, man. Or he shall be called the God of the whole earth. All right. Now, therefore, I pray you swear unto me by Yahweh, as I have shown you kindness, that ye will also show kindness unto my father's house and give me a true token. She was scared. Like, look, I helped you out. I know you are. So I'm asking you, show kindness unto me, just as I show kindness unto you. You know, like the older man was going into. If you really, you should be trying to get on our good side, man. You know, hey, it's Matthew 18. It say, it's better a man have a millstone hanged upon his neck. He's thrown into the waters than to offend one of the little ones. You know, and that ye will save the life of my father and my mother and my brethren and my sisters and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death. And the men answered her, our life for yours. So you saved our life, we're going to save yours. All right. And he uttered not this our business, and it shall be when Yahweh hath given us the land, and we will deal kindly and truly with thee. Then she let them down by a cord through the window. Her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. And she said unto them, and they was digging in Jericho. They actually found the remnants of this wall and her house with the scarlet infused into the rocks, man. All right. They actually found that, man. There was no excavation. They found it.
Esau goes and searches out everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think it was on the west. It was on the west part of the wall. They confirmed this, which you don't need to confirm it. I'm just throwing it out there, man. The Lord, you know, he's showing his word is true, man. At the end, knowledge shall speak. The knowledge shall increase. His word is speaking. And she said unto them, get you out of the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you, and hide yourselves there 3 days until the pursuers be returned. Afterward may you go your way. And the man said unto her, we will be blameless of this thine oath, which thou hast made us swear. So, like the elder was going into, she humbled down, man. All right. And it's another example of it. Of what the elder.
It goes to show you that women admire and respect power too. Because she knew that, look, we're screwed. Ain't none of these men here can save me, can save us, nothing. So I'm in your hands. So could you just spare me and I'll be your servant? And you know, and basically that's what she was saying roughly, and that's exactly what happened. All right, the Israelites came in and they annihilated these people and put these people into subjection. All right. Go ahead and get what you going
This is Joshua 9:1. And it came to pass in all the kings which were on this side of Jordan, in the hills and in the valleys, and in all the coast of the great sea over against Lebanon, the Hittite and Amorite, the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite heard thereof. They gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord. And when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and to Ai, they did work wildly and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their asses and wine bottles old and rent and bound up. So they heard of all the stuff Israel was doing, fucking these people up, how the Lord is dealing with us. And they knew they was next. So they said, shit, we're gonna act like we from a far land. We ain't finna fight against them.
Right. So basically they put their swords down and got rods like they've been traveling and walking. Yeah. You know, dirtied themselves up, put on old clothes, made it look like they had really been traveling a long way, all to try to avoid that ass whooping.
Yep.
It was like, look, man, we heard y'all been killing everything that pisses upside the wall. We ain't trying to get killed.
They ain't want no smoke.
Right, they ain't want none.
And old shoes and clotted upon their feet. They throwing mud on themselves.
Right. We were walking. It was like Red's father. No.
Right. And old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. They got old foods, making it like they was traveling. And they went to Joshua to the camp at Gilgal, and said unto them and to the men of Israel, we be come from a far country. Now therefore make a league with us. And the men of Israel said unto the Hittites, peradventure ye dwell among us, and how shall we make a league with you? And they said unto Joshua, we are thy servants. And Joshua said unto them, who are ye, and from whence come ye? They said, look, just let us be your servants. They begged to be the servants, man. Instead of getting fucked up.
They said, look, man, we know we can't match you for the sword. You know? So it's like, look, can we just serve y'all? You know, and it's like I've often said, man, it ain't like we gonna meet in the middle of the street, you know. The Jake on one side and the Edomites on the other side, we gonna meet in the middle of the street and we just gonna duke it out, you know. Whoever wins, you know, gets to rule Chicago. If that was the case, we rule Chicago every time, man. That's not how Esau gonna fight you, right? Esau gonna use drones and snipers and poison your food, your water. All right, he gonna do all kind of shit, man. He ain't gonna sit there and fight you like that. All right, but nevertheless, man, these guys knew that they didn't stand a chance against Israel in combat. So what they do, they basically they supplanted to be servants.
Yep.
That's what they did.
Yep. That was
the same thing happened with what was it, Balaam? You know,
Yeah. No, go ahead.
oh yeah, because what was it Balak? You know, setting a curse on them. Every time we try to curse them, the Lord would actually bless them. And Balak would get mad, like, hey, I told you to curse them. Why do you keep blessing them? And it got to the point where Balak said, you know what, I have to do it. You know, and then I tell you, I came here to tell you what the Lord, you know, puts in my spirit.
You know? And Balaam was a heathen, you know, but he, the Lord opened his eyes, you know, to see, you know, especially when he was on that donkey, you know, he was like, man, look, Balaam, I can't do nothing but what Yahweh say. He said these people they're gonna be blessed, they're gonna be blessed, right? He wished that he was an Israelite.
Yep.
Right.
Come. He
You
wish
know?
he could change nations, man.
Right.
Now this is Sirach. This is Sirach 33 and verse 10. It says, "And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of the earth. In much knowledge the Lord had divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them he had blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them he had cursed and brought low and turned out of their places." All right, so there's a blessed and then there's a curse. So there is a difference. So like the title of the lesson was going, man, is yes, it's a token of good to be an Israelite. All right, you so-called won the lottery in inheritance. All right, because the Lord said He'd give us all these blessings. He said He'd give us the necks of our enemies. All right, in Psalms 2.
I got you. This Deuteronomy 4:7. For what nation is there so great who have the most? Hey, so you get the 2 Samuel 7. You think you brought it out earlier, Ken? It's Deuteronomy 4:7. For what nation is there so great who have the Most High so nigh unto them, as Yahweh our power is in all things that we call upon Him for? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I said before you this day? Hey, Noah.
Okay, can I answer it?
Yeah, shit, you bet.
Psalms 147 and 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments,
You gotta read
19.
Okay, 19.
Right.
It says Psalms 147 and 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments to Israel.
To vocab and his people.
To Jacob, his statutes and his judgments to Israel.
To Ammon and Moab.
He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
To all of America.
He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
So I hope y'all got that.
He have not dealt so with any nation.
Damn.
And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh.
That's right. You know, you got nothing coming. This is Romans, the 3rd chapter, starting verse 1. What advantage then have the Jew? Or what profit is there in circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of power. All right? Then you were holding that, brother?
Can you read that over the mouth? That's before we started. That's what I was going to put right here. I quoted the Chicago.
All right? From the top.
Bible shot.
All right? It reads Romans 3 and 1.
Cut.
What advantage then have the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because that unto them, personal pronouns, were committed the oracles of God. So only Amos 3 and 7. Because only the men of the Lord were giving the understanding of this Bible. It's like I was watching a video earlier when the apostle was responding to some comments that vocab had said, man, and he talked about how Dr. James White backed off because he didn't want that smoke. He got all that heat, man. And I've done 2 videos where I asked, first one, I asked several questions, and the second one I narrowed it down to 5, directly to Vocab Malone, all right, and Dr. James White, the Edomite, and they never answered any of them. By the way, all right, never answered any of those questions, man. All right.
Who got Amos?
Amos 3:7. It's Amos chapter 3, verse 7. And it reads, surely Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
And see, that's what it is, man. This is an Israelite thing. And Vocab, you just mad because you're not an Israelite.
Can I have this?
Absolutely.
Deuteronomy 29:29. The secret things belong unto Yahweh, our power, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, and we may do all the words of this law.
Well, you know, we could just finish, just stop. I know,
I got
no, bring that one more time.
This Deuteronomy 29:29. The secret things belong unto the Yahweh, our power, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever. Forever. The water. And we may do all the words of this law. Shalom. That's right.
So this is Baruch 4:2. I'm gonna read a couple verses here. It says, turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. Talking about the law. It says, give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. O Israel, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing to Yahweh are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel.
Can I bounce in there real quick?
And I got 2 right after.
I'm bouncing in after that. This extra
combos, man.
This
and binked up.
Bink. Like you want to say the facts of life. The facts of life, bro. The facts of life. This Acts 3 and 24. Yea, and all the prophets from Samuel and those that follow after, as many as have spoken, have likewise foretold of these days. This is Acts, remember that. Ye are the children of the prophets, and of the covenant which the Most High made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, and in thy seed shall all the kindreds of the earth be blessed. And that kindred means of the same tribe, of the same people. So all the nations of Israel, man. The Lord told Jacob, nations are in our loins. We are the children of the prophets. We are that blessed seed with the covenant, man.
Matter of fact, to back that one up, to prove it, go to Acts 25. But see, that's the thing. That whole thing of the Pentecost, you know, the Christians teach a false doctrine. The day of Pentecost was about the Israelites coming back from all the lands that they were scattered.
Right.
It had nothing to do with no other nations, man. And they were calling themselves by all those other names, man. Matter of fact, it's that one, I think it's in Acts 25, when he says that he's talking about, was it 13?
I got Acts 2 for you, but it is one in Acts 13.
I think that might be the one I'm thinking of. Ariella brings that scripture out a lot.
Acts 13?
Yeah.
I know Acts 13 and 26, how you talk about men and brethren, children.
That's the one. That's the one.
That's 13 and 26.
Is Acts?
I knew it was okay, but go ahead.
It's Acts 21 and 20 on David.
That's my cut
21,
for that BS Christianity when they say whomsoever, because in that Acts he gonna say it. He gonna cut it, man.
Acts 21:20. This Acts 13 and 26. Men and brethren. I'm gonna start up.
Somebody hold Job 8:8.
Shit.
Hey, and you know what? Real. Before we bring all this out, if y'all ain't said it, because you know we had been a brother that left. Hey, that's why the Apostle of the Bible made the deep statement. He said, for all you stupid ass niggas out there who love disrespecting your father, it's only because of your father that you're Israelite.
Yeah.
God.
Shit going on. Yeah.
So this is deep.
Y'all, you dear mama niggas.
Right, sweet
right.
Satan.
Right, your horse ass, sluggish ass mama who had 30 dicks before your father ever got to her.
She probably never knows your damn dad.
You know, right.
It's a lot. That ain't worship. Big Mama, the reason why you bought out on Caesar Borgia, you eat pork.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It got you all effeminate and angry and acting the ass
off. And got one foot. Because he's diabetes. This Acts 13 and 22. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king. So also he gave testimony and said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. of this man's seed, have the Most High according to his promise, raised unto Israel a Savior, Yahweh Shai. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 26. Men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, and whosoever among you of the stock of Abraham, man. All right, among you, feareth the Most High, to you is the word of this salvation sent. Now you know that the Gentiles that they were teaching, that Paul's ministry was to were Israelites. Okay, plain and simple. You got the Acts 21.
Acts 21 and 20. And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews which believe, and they are zealous of the law.
One more. So they said the Jews, right? Israelites. Keep going.
And they are informed of thee, that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles.
The Jews who?
That are among the Gentiles.
The Gentiles that were being taught are Jews, man. Israelites. All right. Unto you are the stock of Abraham who believe. That's who his word is to.
Matter of fact, somebody, now that you hold it, somebody got Job 8 and 8. Somebody also get John 7 and 35.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If you go to blue to the bottom, Romans 1:14, and you look up barbarian, it's barbaros, and you go down to the Dyer's Greek lexicon, you go to the Lord, it said Jews among barbarians.
They are Benjamin.
So barbarians are Israelites.
Barbados.
Right, that's who the Romans were fighting because, and why were the Romans fighting them? Because Romans had oppressed them. The Greeks had oppressed them, the real Greeks, right? Hence the reason that Job 8 and 8. Somebody get 2 Ezra 7 and 28. And what was the one I just said before that?
You said John
7:35. Get it in the NIV and in the.
The word when you go into barbarian, that was a Roman insult. It was a generic term, like the term today, nigger. All right, they would call Israel like they called the Gadites. They called them tree niggers and shit like that.
Yeah,
right. That's what they did. Call us niggers. That was the
prairie niggers, tree niggers.
Exactly. Yep. Turn the water because I can remember the water turns towards Israelites, and that's what the barbarians were. It was a generic term towards us, man. All right, that's heavy.
In Job chapter 8, verse 8, it says, "For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers."
Right, and see, we've done that. I've done that extensively for the nation and for me personally, man. And what we've done when we do that, you know, even though we believe this is all a spiritual thing, but when you research the records, you can't come. The only thing you're gonna come up with is the fact that we are the Israelites, man. And just because you wouldn't cover up the records and try to hide them and cover up that information, that you only teach Judah's history back to Africa, and then you teach a false pseudo history when it comes to the natives, like they were here millions of years ago, and all the other kind of mess. You know, with your pseudoscience, your lies. Pseudo means false, by the way. All right. But when we go to search out our fathers, what we find out that through the spirit and through the relics in the history that we are indeed the Israelites.
Even they right? smartest scholars, and like that one, like Helen, some shit. Some of y'all top scholars even know what we saying. They've proven it. They know who we are, man.
Hey, if you remember, we were still on Van Buren, so that was probably about we were in front of the John Law School. So that was probably about a good point. Yeah, that was some while ago. About 4 or 5, baby. Well, how long was it? It's been longer than that.
About 6, 7 winter moons ago.
Okay. So, but nevertheless, that was if you brothers remember, so about 7 years ago, 7 to completion. There was a French lady that walked up and looked at that sign and said she learned that in grammar school.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
From France.
I remember that.
Yep. She was like, "Oh wow, I learned that in grammar school." So they were very aware. There are people around the world who were very aware of this, man. All right. Just because Esau carefully what was the big topic that the game is rigged? All right. So being it is rigged, the Lord set it up from the beginning. But you rigged up this society for yourself.
Right.
All right. You lied about our history. You removed books and information from the Bible. You covered up. You gave us false names. You controlled the narrative. You removed the apocrypha. All right. You set up, and then even after then you labeled us black and Hispanic and Native. You labeled yourself white. You hid everyone's identity. Right? Except for nobody in the Bible, none of the all these people in the Bible, all these different names that you read, and nobody knew who they were, only except the Jews.
Right.
Hey, everything you just said was the truth. Everything you just said is right here in the Bible. Because it says the Spirit bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. The Spirit is the truth of history, the truth of the characteristics of the Israelites, the truth of the plight of the Israelites, the truth of the power of the Israelites, the truth of the swag of the Israelites.
Right, because Deuteronomy 28:46 clearly says that these things will be on us as a mark.
That's it.
That for the witness. So it's the witness of what we've experienced.
That's a sign.
That proves it's a sign as to who we are. Because the Israelis haven't gone through these things. They don't fit. It didn't happen to them. No matter how much you wanna try and group everything, all the events that have taken place over thousands and thousands of years, and try to group it all into one event that's very sketchy, which is the Holocaust.
Yeah.
All right. Sketchy. You try to make the Holocaust fit all the curses, and it does not.
Nope.
All right. Because it said the Israelites will be the borrowers, not the lenders. And guess what? Jewish people are the world's #1 lenders.
With usury.
With usury. So they can't be it.
Nope.
They can't be it.
It don't add up. It ain't the truth. It's not math.
That's that 1 + 1 is 3 shit.
Right.
It's that red fish, two fish.
If a bunch of niggas' interest is fixed wasn't nothing, why you constantly worried about it?
Hey, like they got the meme though.
The shit that you put
Hey, Southside, they got the meme with the Edomite, he like this, and they got all the pyramids in Egypt. They got all the Aztec pyramids in Esau like this. It's like aliens built this. Then on the bottom, you got all type of jakes making all type of shit.
Oh, right, yeah. No.
That's Esau, man. That's his whole deal, man.
Yeah.
He a damn joke,
Real
man.
joke, man.
Yeah. Because he has no real or no true culture, but let him bring out those scriptures that he was holding.
And then I got a couple more.
Come. Go ahead, brother.
So we just jump back. This the precepts of Job 8:8. This Jeremiah 6:16. Thus said the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your soul.
Yeah, that same way that the nations looked at us and said, wow, what a wise and understanding people, which made us a holy people, which made us a separate people. So then when we start doing the things of them, then we became like the Gentiles. But now that we're finding out through the Spirit, who we are, our heritage, our way, all right, which is a way cast up, okay? Now everybody looking at like us like we crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know?
Well, you quoted it says, "This the beauty of the earth," in that Joel.
Right.
That's how they look at it. Now that
Limitations.
Now that we're doing all this, heathen shit.
Yeah.
Con, they set us up for the okie doke. So like I said, they rigged their game, and now he's mad because what was the terminology that he used? If their primus or their in which the words is connected to supreme. Basically, because we are supreme. I'm gonna just say it, man.
That's right.
We're the zenith of mankind, man. All right, we're the apex of mankind, man.
All this
right?
wickedness you done, you got the nerve to be mad.
It comes.
Well, he mad because
Right.
we ain't smoking weed, he pork, and got our hands sagging.
There you go.
No more
Right.
Yeah, he don't like that. He like it when we a bunch of niggas.
Yeah, because
that's
and they stay on top that way. You know what I'm saying? Because it says that through unrighteous decrees and injuries and right by deceit. All right, that's how they on top.
See,
you
can't.
Because once as long as Jake is not following their power and following the ways of the Lord is not going to deliver them, man. They're going to stay in slavery. So once Jake snap out of that and start coming back to the law, statute, commandments of Yahweh by Shem Shai, it's over for this devil.
Right. No curses, man.
Right.
No curses. See, they look, us waking up makes them have to wear the curses. And that's what it is. So and ain't nothing you can do, man. Because there's a table. There's this dude who makes suits, and he's measuring. Dang, You gotta wear that. He's measuring you for that suit of them curses, man.
Yeah.
He making them curses fit you.
You're making that sharp.
Yeah, right. He making you sharp, man. He
My
measures
granddaddy-
your foot, your
Shitty sharp.
inseam, your arm, your neck. You gotta wear that suit. You gotta put on those curses, man.
Hey,
Right,
hey,
well,
I ain't
yeah,
never
right.
like as many as championships as the New England Patriots won. They didn't say, all right, we didn't won a bunch. All right, let somebody else get it. No, they want to stay on top. They
Right.
want to stay the champs. They want to stay ruling. You know what I'm saying? So when someone else is coming up in there, they don't like it. They're gonna fight.
Every champ eventually loses because back in the day it was the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
America's team.
and the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, everybody had these teams had their time, man.
Yeah.
But you don't get to stay on top forever. You just can't.
Hey, yeah, especially when you ain't ruling with the law, statutes, and commandments, the way of life, the way of righteousness.
If I may, this is Proverbs 14:34. It says, righteousness exalteth the nation, but sin is a reproach to any people.
You see? Because ultimately that it'll get you there for a second. You know what I'm saying? But then it's you rule with a recipe for a downfall.
It's just like you build you could use bullshit generic supplies
Materials.
to build your block, your bricks and your something, but
It'll stand for a little bit.
And it's gonna fall.
until like 2 years you start.
Or you're gonna have to have engineers come in and fix it. I got a client. That's what she's my best client right now. But literally the last one I got that actually got some money. And that's what she does. That's what every day she's going to repair and figure out how to fix what other people fucked up. That's what she does. So that was a very good analogy, man.
I got a couple, if I may.
Go ahead,
Unless
brother.
it was some others that you
Well,
want.
I still have some we working on. Go ahead, brother.
All right, this is Romans chapter 9, verse 3. It says, "For I could wish that myself were
You should
cursed."
hold that one, brother.
Okay.
Hold that. That's that come off the top rope.
All right, and then I got one right behind it.
Yeah,
too.
but yeah, you just
Okay.
hold on to those, brother.
Okay.
Matter of fact, let's get that one. That whoever had that second answer, man, because it all goes back to them rigging the system for themselves. And the way they rigged Christianity, all right, was they removed the missing link. Because when you read about, a matter of fact, Jeremiah said it, man. You talked about, well, there's no difference between does that Romans 11:1, but the one in Acts says,
Whomsoever.
get both of those Bible shot. Because see, when you read it that way and you go about it that way, what you've done is that you've added the Gentiles all want to slide in there. Right? They want to do that.
I thought about that.
They want to do the electric slide right into there. Right. No, this ain't no line dance. Matter of fact, in real talk, if the Israelites are out there doing a line dance and you're not an Israelite, you ain't gonna be able to keep them do what they do anyway.
Not at all.
All right, you're not gonna be able to do it. Only a Jake gonna be able to sit there and watch. He gonna practice it for a few times. Next thing you know, every Jake out there doing it.
Yep.
The heathen, you can't do that, man. They just can't do it, man.
They can only say wow and pay us to do it if they part.
Exactly.
That's
Right.
it.
Pretty much.
This that Acts 13:26 again. It says, men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, and whomsoever among you feareth Yahweh, to you the word of this salvation sent. Now this a cut because it said children of the stock of Abraham. Now I got this in the book of Maccabees when they was in Sparta. You know, this is the precept to that. Exactly. This is First Maccabees 12, all right, and 21. It said it is found in writing that the Lacedaemonians and Jews are brethren, and that they are of the stock of Abraham.
There it is.
So, it's I got one more for that Maccabees.
There's more.
Hey, God knows. Hey, this is First Maccabees 2 chapters over, the 14th chapter in the 20th verse. It says, and this is the copy of the letters that the Lacedaemonians sent to the rulers of the Lacedaemonians with the city unto Simon the high priest, the elders and priests, and the residue of the people of the Jews, our brethren, send greetings. I mean, what else you want me to do, Rasta? Shit. We're Israelites, man. Those Gentiles were the Israelites, like the elder here went into the book of Acts and the Pentecost, this is what we were doing.
Hey, Paul told Agrippa in Acts 26.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one they try to use. Well, he almost
Well, so when it starts talking about this, there's no difference between a Jew and a Greek. He just gave you two brief, solid precepts. Is when the Israelites became Greeks, how it happened. And here's the read that one, brother.
Second Ezra, man. Is it 7:28?
Yeah, 2nd Ezra 7:28. Because this links up right with the scriptures that Murph just read, man. Was that 2nd Maccabees 4:10? And this was 2nd Maccabees 14.
Yeah, I think
when it talks about the Lacedaemonians, that's the 14th chapter, right?
God, it's the 12th chapter and the 14th chapter.
In the Maccabees.
12 and then chapter 14.
This Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 28. For my son Yahweh Shai shall be revealed with those that be with him.
Which one you wanted to mark in?
2nd Ezra 7:28.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 28. For my son Yahweh Shai shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years.
So you have the Israelites within a 400-year period that were living amongst the Greeks, to where there are many scriptures in this book that tell you how they cleaved on to the Greekish fashion. Matter of fact, I think that's what I was thinking of. First Maccabees 4:10. I believe that's what I was thinking. That's why I said that. Second Maccabees 4:10, and then First Maccabees. It tells you as well. All right.
That's why they want you to read that book. Exactly.
Hey, this is why they conveniently removed the evidence. Basically, what they did was they removed the evidence from the court case that would prove them to be guilty.
Right.
That's what this is all about. The Apocrypha was the evidence against them. One of my favorite movies that you ever see was the Count of Monte Cristo. That I've one of my top movies of all time, man. If you ain't seen it, you going the fuck off, right? Especially the scene where when the guy has the letter, the only evidence of his innocence, and as he's telling him that he can leave now, he was like, you can't be too careful. And there's a candle burning, and he burns the letter. All right, and he burned it. And the poor dude get sent off to prison for some shit he didn't do. Couldn't even figure it out, man, until he got to prison and started talking to the priest. The priest was locked up because he knew what some gold was. And they told him, we're going to just throw you in this prison until you remember what the gold was. And it was the gold of Sparta.
Damn.
The Spartan gold on top of that.
Yeah.
That's what. So it's like, and so the priest never told, man.
Right.
But he told dude though. And that's how the Count of Monte Cristo, he got out. He got out of prison, and he went and found that Spartan gold, became the richest man in the world, basically. Right, and got his revenge. But the point being, though, man, is the evidence, and see, the Apocrypha was the evidence that would have completely annihilated and allowed Christianity not to even be.
Right.
So, and which would have made it all about the Israelites. Which and why and so guess what? Why would that be damaging? You think that the fake Jews would have been all about that, but you know what? It revealed that the Spartans were Israelites. So that fucks up all that Greek, all the fact that there's that the Greeks was a separate people from these fake Jews. Because now they got to explain that. Wait a minute, right? How you Jew? Right. It just would open up a can of worms that they did not want to deal with.
And that alone, damn devil was the truth. Most I came not to take away from his word.
So they did. In essence, they did the whole thing that he told, yeah, you're free to go. And dude was like, and he was innocent. Dantes didn't know what the fuck was going on. He was like, okay, so he gets up and goes out the door. But when he goes out the door, the men take him and throw him. He said, yeah. He said, as a matter of fact, you know what? For all your troubles, I'm going to have my men take you home in my private carriage. So he goes to the carriage and gets in the carriage, and it's a damn prison carriage. The gate shut. He's like, what the fuck? He think he getting a ride home. No, he was getting a ride to his new home. That goddamn prison, man. All right? Well, the only evidence that would have exonerated him was a letter, man. And the man burned the letter right in front of his face. All right? And you know why he burned it? Because it would have condemned him because it was the letter was written in his father's handwriting.
Somebody supposed to be his best friend. Turned him.
And the sellout ass, right? It's supposed to be his jealous ass best friend, man. All right. But go ahead, brother.
This is Acts 15 and 23. And they wrote letters by them after this manner. The apostles and the elders and brethren send greetings unto the brethren which are of the Gentiles in Antioch and in Syria and Sicily. Simply put, man. This is Acts 15 and 23. And they wrote letters by them after this manner. The apostles and elders and the brothers and the brethren send greetings unto the brethren which are of the Gentiles in Antioch and in Syria and in Sicily. Gotcha, bro.
Jack, when you look up Antioch, it says place of the Greek Jews, man.
This is First Peter. Oh, God, perfect.
That's a cut.
Place of the Greek Jews.
First Peter 1 and 1. Peter and
Chill out, play read that. Southside Mike just brought up something here.
Southside, a damn encyclopedia tonight.
He be on it, man.
Diligent.
He be arguing with the niggas on social media all day. I be seeing you, but if you don't need no backup, I just scroll.
No, he doesn't.
I be seeing him arguing with niggas. I be like, man. Hey, that's how you got.
That's his lot, man.
Some brothers gotta do that, man.
I don't have the patience to do it, man. That's his lot.
Yeah, I be ready to put a nigga in the headlock and I can't even touch it. So this is scroll for me, brother. I be mad as fuck. Hey, this all is spiritual, right? Because I was working, and I was working downtown, and I was gonna do a sit down about this topic. Starting with the scripture he brought up in Psalms 147, 19 and 20. I had a topic just to go into, and I left it alone, right?
Yeah,
and then I seen, now this is deep, right? Because I said, damn, the brothers out there teaching. So I went straight to the line. And then when we came in here, I came in here and I walked in on the direct scripture I was gonna start my sit down with.
Perfect.
That shit. I'm just overwhelmed right now. It's just damn, man.
Because we one body, brother.
I'm moving off that, man.
This is Peter 1 and 1. Peter, an apostle of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge, right? Because that's that golden ticket of the foreknowledge of Yahweh the Father through sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience of the sprinkling of blood of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Grace be unto you and peace be multiplied.
Isaiah 4, like you said, that elect, that was those golden ticket holders, man.
No, the next verse.
The next verse, verse 3. Blessed be the power and Father of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which according to his abundant mercies have begotten us unto a lively hope.
No. Read it again.
Blessed be Yahweh, the Father of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which according to his abundant mercy have begotten us again.
There we go. That's what I was. Begotten us again.
Right.
Again.
Read verse 2 over.
Right.
Yeah, slow it down.
I'm
Hey,
excited.
Shalom, Elder Yashawam, Shalom, brother.
All you brothers.
And what has begotten us again?
Bro,
Who did he get in the
this
first
a
place?
bagger right here.
Oh, that's all God.
Look at this too. All right.
Hey, look, we having fun with this tonight, man. Like you said, man, they getting binked up, man. You Christians and vocab, you apologists, y'all getting lumped up tonight, man.
Best call. How many lumps of shit are you like in your coffee?
It says 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 2. Elect according to the foreknowledge of Yahweh the Father through the sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience and sprinkling of blood of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Grace be unto you, and peace be multiplied.
God, Isaiah 45 and 4. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect.
There's some golden ticket holders again. I'm gonna keep saying it, man. So
They won the lottery.
Right?
Because
Right.
it says
Right.
it tells you
winners.
yeah.
You know,
God, it tells you who the strangers are the elect. Isaiah tells you because the scriptures is precept upon precept, precept upon precept.
That's right.
Line upon line, line upon line. Here a little,
Very little.
Rightly divided.
That's right, man. So the elect, those strangers, the Israelites. And the next verse 3 proves it. Hit that 3 for y'all again. For us all again.
Again, let me hit the Tracy.
You heard
First
that,
Peter
boy.
1 and 3. Blessed be Yahweh, the Father of our power, and Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which according to his abundant mercy have begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahweh Shai Mashiach from the dead.
Damn. So it was, he had risen up, you know, a savior, you know, in the house, in the line of the house of David, you know, to give repentance unto Israel, to begotten us again.
To inheritance,
To an inheritance.
incorruptible and undefiled, that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you.
There you go. The
Woo!
apex,
We got reservation.
that apex of men. You get that reservation, right? That zenith, all right? That supreme race of people, man. All right? Because hey, you've been running around the earth being a white supremacist for a long time. Well, you know what? We're Israelites and we're not supremacists. We are supreme, right? And we got the promise. We have the heritage, and you guys don't, man.
We got the
It ain't our fault.
Go ahead, man.
Yes, you may, brother.
Because it ain't the salvation,
Yes,
is in the perfection. All right, that's the salvation. This is Jeremiah 31 and 31.
Yes.
It says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
Wait, hold on. Did it just say Israel and Judah?
It says with the house of Israel and with the house of
It
Judah.
doesn't say nothing about the Church of the Apologists, the Methodists, or
That's
the
the house of
Lutherans.
Israel and the house of Judah.
So
Latter-day Saints.
they say nothing about the Greeks in that one. Huh?
Just the house of Israel and the house of Judah.
So how you gonna explain that, man? All right, explain your way out of that. Well, I will shut up.
The
Go ahead,
biblical
brother.
liberalism.
Verse 32. And it, right, what he said, Judah, I don't even know what he said. He said, I'm going to say something slick. Like the scripture said, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Anything else is evil.
Vocab. So clearly, he has never read that scripture.
That's a cut.
Because you ask him a direct question, man. That dude start doing what he say. We do the Israelite hopscotch.
Right.
Hey, and by the way,
Here, little there, little.
vocab alone is a
That dude
so-called.
start juggling.
That's his father. See the stupid ass hat. Hey, but by the way, because he's a so-called New Testament Christian. Most of them apologists are. Hey, that same exact scripture is like Hebrews 8:12, man. He had to reiterate for you stupid ass knuckleheads, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 32, Jeremiah 31 and 32. It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant may break, although I was an husband to them, saith Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yahweh, I will put my law in their inward parts.
It said after those days.
After those days.
Well, after the days that John the Revelator saw, and he said, I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
That's right.
Because the first heaven and the first earth is talking about them days. You know what I'm saying? That's when we messed up. That's when we had to go through our training. Right? But after these days of the first heaven and the first earth that we're in now, that was given unto men, namely Esau, Edom, the wicked, as Job 9:24 says. All right? You know, so after these days that we're in right now, what's going to happen?
It says, thus saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know Yahweh, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh.
Hey, that sounds
right too.
Yeah, that sounds like a God to me. All right, those who follow the law, statutes, and commandments, perform them 100%. That's a God.
That's perfection.
That's perfection. That's a God right there.
Hey, so like that's like I go to your job and shit. I never worked at this brother's job a day in my life. He get paid and shit. Then my crispy ass come up there and won't. Nigga, you don't work here. Esau don't work for the Lord.
Right.
Esau don't work for the Lord. Hey, you goops, you filthy ass Africans, which we are not. Y'all don't work for the Lord. I'm gonna go up to the elder mouthful. I'm gonna go up to Ariel. I'm gonna go up to y'all job. And right. Esau a damn joke, man.
This whole
Go ahead, brother.
This Hebrews,
Okay.
this Hebrews 8 and 7. For if that first covenant had been faultless, there should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault, this is the New Testament.
Thanks, I dropped it.
For finding fault with them, Shakal had it.
Yo, hey, three of us.
For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, said the Lord, and I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, I regarded them not, said the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel.
With who?
With the house of Israel.
With who?
With the house of Israel. After what the I'm read that over. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel, man. All right, with the house of I had to say at least 5 times.
That's right.
It's
been 5 times. That's right.
John. For this is the covenant I'll make. For this is the covenant I'll make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh, I'll put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest. And in the book of Isaiah, it goes to the promise again. Because look, the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. What's written in the Old Testament is what Yahweh Shai has come to fulfill, and it's coming back to finish fulfilling. So, all right?
He said that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now, in the book of Isaiah, it says that people shall be all righteous. It don't mention the fucking heathens, man. Why is the promise to us? Because it says what? To us alone the promises, the covenants.
So this is Romans.
Like Hulk Hogan is big leg drop.
So this is Romans 9. Yeah, Romans 9 and 3. It says, for I could wish that myself were cursed from Yahweh Shai for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption.
Women, Israelites.
Who are Israelites.
Who pertaineth.
That this is going to pertain to them. What I'm
How
about
can
to
it
read.
make the lions or a bear or a heathen mean what this is saying? It says pertaining to whom, which means it's pertaining to them.
Yep.
See, people don't know, like Mom, you say this all the time, personal pronouns. You got to follow the personal pronouns. They say he, who, them. Follow the pronouns, goddammit.
Right.
That's
did you learn that in English?
Come on.
So,
You know?
yep. So it says,
Third
who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption.
So
And-
this one scripture, this one, matter of fact, one of the finest books in the whole Bible is Romans the 9th chapter. Romans the 9th chapter slaughters Christianity, and that there's any hope of any inkling of any of the other nations in being rulers. It makes it clear that it's all about Israel, man. And it's almost elementary, and if you can't understand it, you're either really stupid, your lie IQ has failed you horribly, or you just willfully being having the cognitive dissonance at the highest level, man. Let's go ahead,
Yes,
somebody
sir.
hold Revelation the 7th chapter.
So it says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption. Also, it pertains, it says, and the glory. Also pertains, it says, and the covenant.
Wait a minute. The what?
And the covenant.
Wait a minute. The covenants were the first and second covenant, right?
And the covenant.
So now they call it First Testament, Old Testament, whatever. The scripture called them covenants, man. And it's not old as in done away with. Not one scripture says it's ever been done away with.
Yep. It says, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service. The giving of
So
the
wait a minute,
law.
a Chinese person can't give the law? A Japanese can't give the law?
Well, this pertains to the Israelites. It says, and the servants of God and the promises. Now it says, and the covenants. He just read one of the covenants in that Hebrew. All right, which he precepted the brother in Jeremiah, where it says, this is the covenant that I will give to Israel, that I will, after these days that we're in now, that he's going to put the law, statutes, and commandments written in our minds and our hearts. And then right here in this Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 44 and 19, it says, Abraham was a great father of many people. It says, in glory was there none like unto him, who kept the law of the Most High and was in covenant with him. He established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful. Therefore, he assured him by an oath that he would bless the nations in his seed.
Woo, and his seed. His seed is what? That's sperma. That's sperm. That's
Hey, I gotta quote the priest, man, lawyer, man, because that's why I learned that Romans 9 from. And see, through the flesh, that means sex. It's the blood, it's the sex, man.
That's it. It says, and that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt his seed as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea and from river to utmost part of the land. With Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake the blessing of all men and the covenant.
You know what? Hold right there, brother. Hold right there. Give me that Revelation 7th chapter right now. Start in verse 4. Because what is that setting up? That's setting up the house of David, man. That's what that's setting up.
It's just one more verse.
Pause. I got one on pause.
Revelation 7. Start in verse 4.
Revelation chapter 7.
Let's get that. What I refer to as the heavenly roll call. Right. Bring it out, brother. And then you pick right back up, y'all.
Okay. Revelation 7:4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144 and 4,000.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, see, I'm playing a role of that dirty manager at the ringside, so I'm holding their feet. I just slid the chair in. Go ahead, brother.
It says, of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Wow. Wait. Just Israel, nobody else, right?
All the tribes of the children of Israel.
So we've been telling you all along, the Bible is a book about the Israelites, their beginning, their rise, their fall, and their rise again. Right. And now we're at the point of their rise again. That's where we are.
We got them again.
Okay.
And that's why Esau so mad. Esau would not be mad if we was asleep. When we was asleep, Esau was having a wonderful time. Right? He called it let's make America great again. Why? Because when they were in their greatness, they was straight. You know what I'm saying? Golden America in the 50s and the 40s and shit, they were doing wonderful. If you go back to the 1880s and 1890s, they were doing wonderful. They were leaps and bounds running over there and fucking up the goddamn globe and planet. And then back in the 40s and 50s, America has conquered the whole fucking world, and they had everything eaten out of their palm.
And look how fucked up the world is as a result of it. And there's an island floating in between California and Hawaii that's twice the size of Texas of garbage. All right.
And they say,
matter of fact, you got orcas and whales attacking them now. I mean, the world is against them bastards. But let them finish that roll call, and then you're gonna bring that up.
Oh, you still on
there? And those islands, that Texas now, Texas is bigger than some countries. I just want to make that point. Texas is so big, it's actually bigger than some countries. So you have two Texases. That means it's an island full of garbage that's bigger than some countries.
And this happened under the stewardship of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. This happened on his watch, during his time of having dominion in the earth, man.
You know how big Texas is. Every citizen in America can stand in Texas. They can all live in Texas. They all be in Texas. Yep, they teach us that. Grammar school, fucking Texas, man. Wow. This is madness, man. The animals are washed ashore. They do our top is cut open.
Coming from the plastic. And cesium and all that other shit for Fukushima.
Yeah, someone.
Is
I,
that Fukushima radiation?
yeah, someone sent a photo, and I'm trying to remember where I saw it, but it showed that garbage site, and it showed I guess this Great Barrier Reef and how 50 years ago how pretty it is, and how it's all dead now. It showed how lush the Amazon was 50, 60 years ago, and then how it looks now. Man, it's just look. It's time, man. But finish that, brother Bob Shop.
This is Revelations.
Josh will lose it if he can't finish this.
This is Revelation 7:4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Children of Seth?
Children of Israel.
Of Esau.
Israel.
I mean, we can go all day. It's only Israel.
Israel.
It says, verse 5. It says, of the tribe of Judah was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds.
Hey, and that's the descendants of Yasharallah. Esau is gonna try to make you think that as everybody on the
That was his way of trying to sneak in. No. It said it just told you of the children of Israel. So that's the subject matter, right? That's the subject matter. So these were those scattered ones. I open up almost every video I do with the salute to this, and I include the scattered Israelites that are scattered to the four corners of the earth that are among the heathen nations.
Can I real quick?
The Israelite foreigners.
Man,
go ahead.
I'm about to lose it.
Yeah.
Amos 3:1-2. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying,
hey, we're ready to warn him, man.
That's right. You only
shield wall, damn it.
That's it. You only, I will say it again. O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt. Did he bring up the Chinese from the land of Egypt? No. The Japanese? The Moabites, the Ammonites, the Hamites? No. He said, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Hey, Capo, finish reading it though, because he's gonna let you know they Israelites still. Because watch this.
This is Revelation 7:9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our God, who sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders, and about the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces, and worshiped the Most High.
See, in number
verse 14. Read verse 14.
Okay.
Verse 14, the point.
It says, verse 14. And I said unto him, Sir, you know it. And he said to me, these are they which came out of great tribulation.
And that's Jeremiah 30:7.
And washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb.
So he didn't come. The goose didn't come out of great tribulation.
Nobody on the planet came out of great tribulation because right now they're straight.
That's right.
Even in this COVID-19 bullshit, in this pandemic COVID-19 bullshit, these other countries are still straight. They in bed with Esau because they in bed with motherfucking Esau. But they got their own shit. They got their own land. They can cultivate. They can sell. They can plant. They can do what the fuck they fucking want.
They can make their own laws.
They can beat their
Washington.
bitches.
All right. I can get back to that.
Hell yeah. He gonna get us, man.
So this is Sirach back in Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach chapter 44 and 22. It says, with Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake the blessing of all men and the covenant, and he made it rest.
Whoa. Made it what?
And he made it rest.
No, wait a minute. Rest?
And
when somebody rests, what they do? If you rest on that couch when you're sitting there, are you put on that couch?
I'm done for the night.
But why you not sitting at the piano seat?
I'm
Rest. Why you ain't outside and under the gondola out there?
Rest.
Why you resting there?
Yeah.
So if it rests there, that's where it rests.
Yep.
So wait a minute. So where did it rest?
Upon the head of Jacob. He acknowledged him in his blessing and gave him a heritage and divided his portions among the 12 tribes. Did he part them?
Well, Esau and the rest of the nations didn't believe.
Among the 12 tribes did he part them?
I tried. I tell story.
Real quick.
That's a brutal ass cut.
That's a dagger. Hey, this is 2nd Ezra 4 in verse 15. Just like that when the other brother got. Can you jump up one chapter, but the last 4 verses come, and then jump right to the next.
Exactly how to.
You had that?
No.
Spirit.
You said what?
You said third chapter, the last 4 verses. Third chapter? You was in chapter 4, right? No, I'm in 3. I'm in 3 and 14. I understand. I understand 4, 14. I probably did, but I'm in 3 and 14. Go to the last 4 verses of chapter 3. Spirit. This is 2nd Ezra 3 and verse 34. It says, "Weigh thou therefore our weakness now in the balance, and there's also that dwell in the world, and so shall thy name be nowhere found but in Yasharal. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight, or what people?"
Because you got them fucking Japanese, them fucking Chinese eating fucking rats.
We brought it out on
Those baboons.
Monkey brain. That's the monkey brain.
The Indians eating the Indians Ellen, they over there eating monkey brains, their elites. They show you that and bring it to the stars. Yeah, then we see. I saw a video where a goop chick just started eating a frog. It wasn't even cooked.
That too, yeah. It was on it, and they declared it. They had it on the goddamn TV show.
They eat live octopus and stuff. These people need us, man. You know the video with the really pretty woman, the daughter of Jethro, that talks about how you Negroes, you've been lied to. They said you were slaves. You know. She said, right. She called us. She said, I'm the daughter of Jethro. Yeah. She said, "You are the people. You are the chosen. You please come back." But she didn't understand. That woman was fine as hell. But she was also a humble ass woman too.
Yeah.
Right?
She been there. You was through 4 years. I second that one. For you, brother. I'm gonna finish this out real quick.
I got something right behind it.
It says, "And thou shalt find that thy name, Salaki, thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts."
By what?
By name.
By what?
Have kept thy precepts.
So Esau ain't got the name.
No.
So Moab
and
ain't
they're
got
not
the name.
keeping the precepts.
And they're not keeping the precepts.
Because it's the land. They're not keeping. Hey, look. That's why the earth does not yield its strength unto them.
Why they got greenhouses over there?
Exactly.
And they got to use irrigation.
Because
they don't got. That was a land of.
That's why the Edomite just got chewed up by that machine.
Right.
Hey, talking about harvest season.
I know. I saw that. They got ate up in a goddamn reaper.
His ass fell asleep in the corn field. The machine came to turn it.
I believe it.
It's
Issachar always went to the farm, bro.
Damn.
Esau went to go hunt, slept in the field, got his ass.
Yeah,
it's spiritual. Yeah, farmhand did it.
Hell yeah.
It gotta be. It has to be Issachar, bro.
I believe it was.
Good. But Issachar's all in the Midwest. They was in Michigan, and then Michigan made a law that made them not be able to be there because of COVID-19 and the so-called COVID test, and they just moved over to Indiana or went to another state. They said, well, then we just go migrate right over to another fucking farm. Used to be the farm workers would be Issachar in California, and then maybe places around there from Texas to Arizona, Utah, whatever. Now you got Issachar all through the fucking middle, the Bible Belt, the middle, whatever they fucking call it.
Because they all down south there.
Yeah. Because they could do they need Issachar coming over here to work. So and they made laws specifically to fuck with Issachar to try to make them
like they coming over here to get welfare. No, like we always said, the scriptures one line when they said that He is hired, man.
Hey,
But they supplant too.
Hey, they said that about Jake, though. They got a saying that, hey, niggas wasn't deemed lazy till you had to pay them.
Yes.
Right,
But slavery was over.
right.
Oh, you black, lazy
Yeah,
niggas.
right.
Hey, he saw ain't shit, man.
This whole country and now.
Niggas built their whole country off
He ain't
his
built
back.
your damn wicked ass White House. But
Right.
as soon as you have to pay him, all of a sudden he lazy.
Now let McDonald's. What's the worst, the shittiest ass job you can have? McDonald's.
I guess cleaning the bathroom.
All right, a janitor. I guarantee you, any job that say they're hiring, it'll be a line.
I know it's true.
And it's gonna be number brown people in it, all different shades.
We did it at this McDonald's right here. You was going to go preach, and they had a huge hiring.
No, me and Tabaki went to go get a damn job. There was all the niggas right there. We was in line with they ass.
Jibber Jabber.
Yeah, I remember that. They had that little man. They had a huge hiring that was going on. They went out there. This is years
How many
ago.
white people you see in that line?
Man, none.
Chinese.
None. It was all Jakes. All Jakes, man. Young or whatever age, man. This is a few years
They
back.
always want to work. You hear? I can hear them now. People come. I work.
Niggas got to stunt. You need money to stunt.
Niggas come up to the job like, hey, can I sweep the lot? Can I what niggas will work.
Wash your car, your window, anything. Yeah,
Bro, bro.
Shit, I got 2 jobs. I'm the laziest motherfucker you know. And I keep 2 jobs. Hey, I wanted to bring this.
I did it for years.
That's what I'm saying. I hate what I ain't saying. No, because he had me bring this out, but I was going to bring
it out, brother.
No,
You gonna bring it out, brother.
Because he had made the point about Abraham getting covenants and not Esau. I just wanted to bring this out. I got a quick tip. This second Ezra is up in the chapter, second Ezra 3 in verse 15. Matter of fact, 14. Salaki. It says, him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will, and madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac thou also gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee. But it says,
You said what?
and
I thought I misheard.
it says, as for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee.
I did the whole plan.
As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee.
What's some Edomite?
And put by Esau.
Whoa, what's put by me?
And
put by me, put that aside. Push aside.
Oh, I got
Put back.
You ever seen when
Hagar.
we were talking about Peyton earlier, man. When Peyton would be coming through the line and come through the hole.
Yes.
And then when one of them dudes go to hit him and he was stiff on their ass.
Put him by.
Right. And they go right past his ass to the end zone. Right. You ever been stiff on? That shit don't feel good, man.
And that's one of the most humiliating plays in football.
Yo, yeah. When you go to tackle someone, they stiff arm you, but your head follows your body.
And you
So when they force your head that way, it actually propels them away from you.
That means that you are so weak that you're coming at him with your maximum force.
He turns it. You know what it is? A stiff arm turns the attacker's force against them. That's what it does.
It's a plan. The stiff arm is a supplant.
Hey, like that dude 2 Chainz, he got a song called "Watch Out, Little Bitch," but in the back of the ground is him ad-libbing himself. Say, "Watch out, little bitch, bitch, stiff arm." He be saying, that's why he said, he make all the weird ass sounds. Then he say, stiff arm. All these niggas will get high and talk crazy. But it says, and so Jacob became a great multitude. So once Esau was put by, the Lord always set up Jacob through that everlasting covenant with Abraham, that his brother going down to rock.
Son, the story just had to play out. The prophecies had to play out.
That's right.
And once again, we're at the point in history where bring it out.
He got it.
So right, but bring it out. Matter of fact, you know what?
That's what you want.
Call the scripture, read it again, and then come off the top rope.
Hey, this is second Ezra 3. And
give them the people's elbow, man.
This is second Ezra 3 and 16. It says, and unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac thou gavest Jacob and Esau.
Why does the Lord always talk about something? I'm giving something in particular versus open up to the masses.
John.
Right? He said, I'm giving from Abraham, I gave Isaac. He didn't say Keturah's son. He didn't say
Yeah, he said nothing about my other sons too. Now,
right.
Go.
Exactly. So then he says to Abraham, then he says Isaac. Now when he said Isaac, he didn't say to Esau. He said to Israel, Jacob.
Hey,
The Lord is always specific into who the blessings and the covenants go to, because if you make a will, which is the will of the Lord, it has to be specific. If you don't make it specific, then they're gonna take your money and everybody
Right,
gonna rob
because I'm sure that our father Abraham loved all his sons.
Well, he gave him some.
No, he gave them all
Yeah,
something.
he all gave him some.
But he knew that the special one was Isaac.
And that's why
He knew that it rested on Isaac. That don't mean that, but you think that he like hated and mistreated Keturah's sons?
The scriptures say when Hagar and Sarah got into it, Moses was like, okay, he sided with Sarah because he was like, well,
Abraham.
Abraham.
We knew what you meant.
So in my head, I said Abraham. So I don't know what came up, but when Abraham, he was like, when he saw what Hagar and Sarah was going through, he immediately sided with Sarah and said, okay, this is what you get, Ishmael. This is what you get, Hagar. Bye. See you later. And he might have liked the push, but it was he didn't even give a fuck because he was like, no,
I got this one
right here, right, and he wanted the air
Isaac is the
with the
one.
Lord, and he knew through the spirit because the angels came to Abraham saying, "I'm coming back to you." At the same said time, the Lord said, "The time of life."
Yes.
He knew he was when it came down to the Lord versus this. By Ishmael. See you later.
Right.
Here's some water. Here's some money. Here's some drink and some food. And see you later. You gotta have 12 persons. Come on, bro.
Right.
And he gave him a blessing, man.
It says, as for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee and put by Esau.
Now I got the
Okay.
definition.
Bring it out, brother.
Of Merriam-Webster's definition of put by.
Oh no. You didn't go that deep.
The Merriam-Webster's definition of put by. Transitive verb, which is reject.
Reject.
That's a lesson. So now that he said this, somebody should already have Hebrews. I'm sure somebody went there. Because he was rejected. Is there any more to it? It's just
Simply reject.
damn, you got rejected.
Reject.
So you Edomites are out of there, man.
They're right here.
Somebody got that Hebrews 12 and 16.
He should.
This shit real, man.
If I may, because you said earlier that we're ready to go to war.
Shield wall, goddamn.
You said so. Now the thing is, Esau Edom doesn't take into account that they stole us, they beat us, they raped us, they robbed us. I don't care. They beat us, they raped us, they robbed us for not 100 years, not 200 years, not 300 years, but 400 plus years.
And that's on this side.
We gotta go back to the time of the Maccabees.
See, now you want us to go put the whole tape out. Cause wait a minute, did you get paid back from the hinder parts?
What Amalek did.
The hindermost part. That's the spirit.
got paid back in numbers. You're right.
Come on, man. That's the hindermost part. You didn't come and fight the warriors. You at the front. You went to the back and you said, "Let me go get the lame motherfuckers.
Right.
Let me get the weak and the people."
That cowardly shit that you did here in America to gather Reuben.
Come on with the polio. Put it in the fucking blankets. God damn it, says, let me go ahead on and get him a whole bunch of strong drink. Let me go ahead on
You give a man whiskey who's never had it before, and then you come to fight. All right, I'm ready to fight you now.
Right. And what did the Lord say when we did something like that to Ham or Dynasty?
He didn't
The
like
Lord
it.
said that was some low down dirty shame shit. That's we don't. The Lord said no, we men, we fight straight up. We don't do those sick ass. I gotta circumcise your penis and say let's go fight and get. And while you hurt,
No,
They just didn't counsel the Lord.
what's
Because
true?
we did some shit like that. We said we ambushed people like that. We had them.
No, we did ambushes. I ain't tripping on ambushes. Ambushes
came from behind the attack. They came out to war. They set the fires in the cities. They went back to go back home. We attacked them from behind.
We attacked warriors though.
But see, that was that to me. So
we birthday city though.
see, that's ambush. That's fine. I was only speaking on the part of them I was only speaking on the part of circumcising, which was low down, you know. But you're right. You're absolutely right. It was
rules in battle.
But here's the thing, though. We won at war with Esau.
No, Esau's a bitch.
They attacked us.
I'm not changing that. I'm just making sure we.
No, you can be clear on the doctrine. No,
that's it. No, Esau's
Esau's
a bitch for that. What he did. I'm not. No, I was talking about the.
We were that's war.
Right, that was war. That was it because we started talking about the other parts.
No, they did not get counsel of the Lord. That was the number one. No, I give you that.
Esau was some bullshit. That's Amos. Real quick, just to do that. Amos 1
and 11.
Yeah.
I
wasn't disputing on that. No, Esau was some bullshit came from behind.
No, we shit in the time of the judges, and multiple times people go do ambush people. Matter of fact, in Jeremiah he said, "Prepare ye to ambush." We the ambush right now.
Matter of fact, us coming out of nowhere after we gave the way that the Lord built up the great millstone and other Israelite camps was an ambush.
That's the Jeremiah.
Right?
That's the Jeremiah.
Look. It was a complete ambush right in their faces, man, because they built up all this technology and thought they was just gonna make money with it, and now they can't get rid of us. Right? Not right. Not they daughters at home right now playing with herself, watching the damn video, man. They sit up getting mad, drinking.
She's been murdered.
I want that baby.
Right. She said that she was choking on.
She's choking on big black cock.
That shit was legendary.
Just for the education's sake, I wasn't contradicting the Amalek. I was just making sure we
No, we understand. First of all, let me tell you something. Great Millstone ain't like any other camp, bro. Brothers, I don't care if they're in a high position to the brother just came in. We don't care about that shit. We try to get what? Deliverance, salvation. That's it. We don't care about that. We want to make sure the doctrine is direct and what? Correct.
Yeah, we ain't gonna have a rod contest.
I don't give no fuck about that shit. And at the same time, I told you what my point was. The fact was we fuck that shit. We don't care about that shit. You know, we're not cheap Ephraim. All right, I'm being serious right now.
It's clear to me that guy needs to be taught again, man.
Right? Because it's not about anyone in particular, and it's not about the nation in particular. It's about Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai,
and he used this internet to do the greatest ambush in the history of ambushes.
That's right.
Because if we came from the left and the right and from behind with this truth, and they can't do nothing with it, man. And they basically got overran with truth. And like when the apostle said that everybody make their own channels and we need to flood the truth, man. The truth the earth has been flooded with truth.
Hey, from corner to corner to corner. You can go to fucking Amazon, you go to Australia, to China, to America. Matter of fact, the whole the lesson we did as the elder camp about 3 or 4 weeks ago, showing the dots from the real Hebrew Israelite camp alone. It hit every corner of the planet. Everyone is without an excuse.
There's no covering for these people. There's no covering for Jake out there at all.
Hey, when brother's teaching the sign language, your ass through.
Right.
Your ass real crib shit.
Right.
No, that shit heavy.
Yeah, but you got brothers teaching in all these different languages. Sign language.
That was odd.
Hey, and then in the WhatsApp, the brother who's a paraplegic from the neck on down. And most people don't know because the brother, we didn't put it out in the circle of brothers. There's a guy that's in DC who's a paraplegic from the neck on down, and that was before the truth. And he came into the truth. Now he doesn't come out with the camps because according to the scripture, they don't supposed to come out with the camps.
It's not that.
It's hard.
And
we have the spirit will say the spirit say fall back. But did he fall back in his ministry? No. He'll go to the bodega and in that spot and be around, and he would be teaching people on a regular basis. And he said when COVID-19 came, it was hard for him to do that because everything changed. He said, but the people that he affected, loosely, bringing it back, came to him.
Yeah, he battled with that. Just the part in he battled with not letting it go and do the works.
That's right.
And the spirit brought it to where they came together.
And had a guy come up to him and he
set up a chair by his bed.
He came and set up a chair by his bed, came to him and said, "Now, could you please break down these scriptures to me?" And I want you to go and
hold on,
y'all was shot. Because if you want me to get this word, you're going to get this word, man. And you're not to get it. If our gospel be hid, it's hid to them that are lost.
That word don't mean perishing, man.
Come on. Salaki, bro. I'm hot because I hate this fucking place. Every man in the Lord, this is like what made me make the interjection in the first place. I hate this place. Every brother in the truth hates this place. You've been kicking us, beating us, hating us, robbing us, and taking advantage of us for years. And we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. But we don't pick up a finger to come against you because our warfare is not carnal. And that's why you hate us the most, because we're killing you with words. The words of the Heavenly Father. So it's not even us. It's Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakadash. And one day it's going to be Rachakadash and the rest of the 144,000 that we hope to be a part of, man. Because he said we're going to be one with Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, man.
That's right. And look, you got to think, things are happening, man. It's very well possible that we don't make it out of this year without major incidents. All right, they really are worried about this Civil War mess going on in November, man. So time really is short, man. We're gonna get ready to wrap it up, brother. You get your last scripture.
This is 2nd Esdras 6. We'll start with 54. This is all about the golden ticket. What's up?
Well, you got to start up. You got to start up.
It's about 6, right?
The 6. No. 6.
6, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think you was right either way.
To the spirit. I was making sure it was 6, but because then I was 6.
Yeah, I got it. Yep.
Because Daniel 7 says the saints shall take the kingdom.
Right.
Okay.
So this is 2nd Esdras 6 and 6. I'm starting 6 yet. And I considered these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they should be ended, and by none other.
And for the clarification of that, how the Heavenly Father, he made the blueprint of everything, but he gave it according to the book of Colossians to Yahweh Shai, and through him, Yahweh Shai made everything. So Yahweh used Yahweh Shai to complete that. Okay? And now Yahweh Shai is using us to do the final completion. That's why he said, greater things greater works you shall do. That blows my fucking mind away. Because the Lord said the works that Yahweh Shai did can't even be written in a book on the earth. It was not a book big enough to contain it. All right? So if we're going to do greater things than he did, and it's 144,000 of us that we hoping to be, that means the works that we're going to do, it's going to be so big that it won't be able to be in a book.
Yeah.
And that's 144,000 times. So this place is about to get a massive overchange by the men of the Lord. And for the record, it only takes one angel to destroy the planet.
We above them.
And we have 144,000 on top of the ships of the Heavenly Father, which are innumerable.
It's overkill. Like you said, the Lord's gonna do this with a he's gonna put on a grand show with a massive overkill, man.
That's right.
All right.
This is 2nd Esdras 6 and 7. Then I answered and I said, what should be the parting asunder of times? Or when should the end of the first and the beginning of it that followed? And he answered, and he said it to me, from Abraham to Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Hey, so time and look. Game's over, man. Game is over.
I'm gonna jump to 55. All this that 2nd Esdras 6 and 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest And here's the point. Thou madest the world for our sakes.
Excuse me.
For our sakes.
One more time.
Our sakes. All right? All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for
See,
thou,
why can't they understand that pronoun? Our.
They don't want to. That's that cognitive dissonance.
I don't see it.
And hence, and you weren't here, but we talked about that before you got here. How they removed the apocrypha. The apocrypha was the missing link to the scriptures.
And
because with the apocrypha in place, Christianity could have never worked.
you know that video that we did with Apostle Carr?
Yep.
About
the apostle being removed,
about the
getting bangers to this
still,
day.
to this day is up, never taken down, and still getting bangers to this day. Because the Apocrypha is the scriptures. All right? And if you go into 1820s when they moved it out, what Council of Nicaea you think there was no Council of Nicaea? First of all, Council of Nicaea was wicked as fuck anyway. All right? Because they corrupted the whole gospel of the Most High.
Well, they say it wasn't canon. Well, you know, why isn't canon mentioned anywhere in the Bible?
But it was in 600, it was canon. So Esau.
But where's the word canon in the Bible?
It's not in there.
That's my question.
Never.
So why? So who's it? Nick Cannon? What fucking canon are you talking about? All right. What canon are you talking about to have the authority to say, well, you know, we're just gonna remove we're gonna leave all of the book of Romans in except the 9th chapter.
Exactly. Or we're gonna go take what's it? 2nd John, 1st John, when they try to put in First John when they try to put in the Trinity shit, which they'll admit that they actually did that. They admit that they made an adjustment to it when that was not even original. And you know how we went through the first thing with my app that I use for my app for the scriptures usually on the screen. The original edition, it was not what it is today. What you see in the scripture, it was the original because they copied it from the actual Greek.
Right.
So they actually made a mistake. I have it. I had to re-upload it if I had to do the edition
So
one.
sit down on it, brother.
Because now I have to. Because now they're in edition 4 or 5 or whatever, and now they changed it in edition 3 or 4.
Yeah, info like that, break it down in the video. It's the info like that, we gotta hit them with. Finish that, brother. So we
I'll finish up. It says, as for the other people which also came from Adam, thou hast said they are nothing. They are nothing. I'm saying it again. They are nothing.
Nothing.
But like unto spittle, and thou hast likened them to abundance. So like the abundance of them until a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, has ever been reputed as nothing.
What's reputed? A reputation. That's their reputation. That means their reputed mean their reputation is they are shit. They ain't shit. They shit. They shit. They shit all the time. That's how you get a reputation, by repeating. What's repeating? Repeating. That's where you get the word reparations from somebody who's repeatedly doing something.
Well, Isaiah, I was at 40 and 15 or 17.
Thing.
It's pretty much said the same thing. They are counted less than the balance on the dust. Dust on the balance, man.
And nobody lifts up the dust of the balance.
Right. So like you gonna blow that dust off the balance before you weigh something. That they're less than that. All right. Well, go ahead, brother.
Have begun to be lords over us and to devour us.
So wait a minute. Who are the lords?
The low people that ain't shit. And they're devouring us. But that's come to an end. Like I said, we're at the end of this, man.
Because if you look at that scripture, if you look at that scripture, it says they lords, right? Who is the lords of today? Esau, Edom. Not only in America, but in Britain, over in Russia, over in Scotland, over in Germany, over in Ireland, over in Greece, and all the other fucking Turkey, and all the other goddamn Edomite nations, NATO.
They do what happens right now. All right?
Let's say this folks doing just for the Lord, just to mention it. So he's gonna be the last one.
That's it.
That's our Lord.
And if you identify that to the scriptures, Mr.
Which means they haven't been done away with.
Vocab.
So
vocab.
Because he still never produced it, you know.
And you'll dodge it like that.
But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, that's the real firstborn challenge, the first fruits Right? But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, thy only begotten.
Now, didn't they call Yahweh Shai only begotten? Why? Because Yahweh used Yahweh Shai to create us. But guess what? He calls Yahweh Bashim. Yahweh Shai calls us their begotten.
Yep.
Firstborn. That means nobody else. Matter of fact, real quick, and I'll throw mine in real quick, because right before you finish, this Psalms 147, 19 and 20. He showeth his word unto Jacob, and statutes and his judgment unto Israel. He has not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, those other nations, have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem, Rakah Radash.
Thy firstborn, thy only begotten, thy fervent lover, are given into their hands.
Hey, that's heavy. The Lord basically covers everything. Read that last little bit.
No, I got you. But we thy people, all right? We thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only.
So we call him as his children. By heaven. Then he says, as a spirit.
I can't help it, bro.
My only begotten, thy fervent lover.
So we everything to the Lord, man. We're like his children, we're like his wife, like the Bible says, my first, my love, my everything.
He's doing all of this for us, man. We are the ones who are inheriting the planets. And he said, in my father's house are many mansions. If I would have died, I wouldn't have told you if it wasn't so. I'm giving this for you. I will prepare a place for you. You are, what's it, Jeremiah 50, when it says, you are the former, all things come on that one. He said, and you are in the rod of my inheritance. The Lord talks about he has an inheritance. It's us.
Yep.
That's why you fucked up, Esau. You know you done fucked up.
Thy fervent lover are given into thy hands. And here's the last verse. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
Hey, and it just said that we were his only begotten, right?
Yep.
And we were given into their hands.
Mm-hmm.
But in Peter, he said, he has begotten us again.
There you go.
That's a dog.
Hey, look. Hey, so with that, let's shut it down, brother. With that, we're going to give all praises going on to
Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem, Rakah Radash.